I never thought the words, "we should see other people," would come back to haunt me the way they have. At the time, it seemed like the most reasonable, even responsible thing to say. But now, sitting here in my small apartment in Chicago with nothing but the sound of traffic drifting in from the street below, I can't help but wonder if I made the biggest mistake of my life. His name is Daniel Carter, and he used to be my everything. Daniel and I met in college at the University of Illinois. I was majoring in English literature, and he was studying business administration. Our paths crossed when we both joined a student volunteer group that organized community events in Chicago. I still remember the first time I saw him. He was helping set up tables for a neighborhood book fair, and I noticed how effortlessly he made everyone feel at ease. His laugh carried across the park like sunlight breaking through clouds, and I was instantly drawn to him. We started talking that day, and by the end of the event, he asked if I wanted to grab coffee. One coffee turned into dinner, and dinner turned into late-night walks along the riverfront. Within weeks, we were inseparable. For years, our relationship felt like a fairy tale. He was patient where I was impulsive, calm where I was anxious. We balanced each other out in ways I didn't know I needed. After graduation, we moved into a small apartment together, full of mismatched furniture and stacks of books. Life wasn't perfect, but it was ours. But somewhere along the way, I started doubting. Maybe it was the pressure of my friends constantly questioning when we'd get engaged, or maybe it was my own fear of being tied down too soon. At 27, marriage felt like such a heavy decision. I told myself I needed space to find myself, to explore life without the weight of a serious commitment. Daniel and I had been together since we were 20, and part of me wondered if I was missing out on experiences I was supposed to have in my 20s. My friends made casual dating sound fun and liberating. They insisted I shouldn't settle down until I had lived a little. So one evening, as we sat on the couch watching reruns of an old sitcom, I turned to him and said the words that changed everything. "Daniel, I think we should see other people." The look on his face is one I'll never forget. His usually warm, brown eyes turned cold with hurt and confusion. He didn't argue, didn't beg me to reconsider. He simply nodded, stood up, and said quietly, "If that's what you want." Then he packed a bag and left. At first, I felt relieved. I told myself I had done the right thing. I went out with friends, signed up for dating apps, and tried to convince myself that I was enjoying this freedom. But every dinner date felt shallow, every laugh forced. None of the men I met compared to Daniel. They didn't know me the way he did. They didn't understand my quirks, my moods, or my dreams. Months passed, and loneliness crept in. I thought about calling him countless times, but pride kept me silent. I told myself he'd come back eventually, that he'd realize no one could love him like I did. But life doesn't always wait for you to make up your mind. A year later, I ran into him at a cafe near downtown. He looked different, sharper, more confident. He smiled politely when he saw me, but it wasn't the smile I used to know. It was distant, careful. We chatted briefly, and that's when he told me he was seeing someone. Her name was Rachel, a graphic designer he met at a friend's dinner party. My stomach sank, but I forced a smile and wished him well. Over the next few months, I followed his life from afar, mostly through social media. Pictures of him and Rachel filled my feed. Trips to New York, hikes in Colorado, cozy dinners with friends. Each post was like a knife twisting deeper into the wound I had created myself. Then, just last month, I saw it. A picture of Daniel on one knee, holding out a ring to Rachel. The caption read, "She said yes." My heart shuddered. The man I had once planned to marry was now planning forever with someone else. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I replayed every moment of our relationship in my head, every laugh, every fight, every kiss. I kept asking myself why I ever thought seeing other people was a good idea. The truth is, I thought I was protecting myself from regret. Instead, I walked straight into it. I started remembering the little things about him that I had taken for granted. How he always made me tea when I was working late. How he never forgot to text me good morning. How he would hold my hand in crowded places so I never felt lost. Rachel has those things now. Sometimes late at night, I draft long messages to him on my phone, pouring out everything I wish I could say. "I miss you. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. but I never send them. He deserves his happiness, and Rachel deserves a partner who is fully present, not someone haunted by the ghost of his past. Still, the silence is unbearable. My friends tell me it's time to move on, that I need to let go of the past. And maybe they're right. But deep down, I know I let go of the best thing I ever had. If you've ever thought about telling someone you love that you want space, that you want to see other people, think twice. Ask yourself if it's truly what you want, or if it's just fear whispering in your ear. Because once those words leave your lips, there's no taking them back. Now, as I scroll past Daniel and Rachel's engagement photos, I realize that sometimes love doesn't end with a dramatic fight or betrayal. Sometimes it ends with a single choice, a choice you thought was harmless, but one that changes everything forever. And me? I'm left with nothing but memories, regrets, and the harsh reality that I told him to find someone else, and he did.